Why do we care about being on code, and why does this matter for leaders?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, probably just defining being on code. You defined some of it to begin with, but really for us, it's basically walking the talk, giving back, bringing others along, and really fighting for change when you see inequities. That's kind of for us is kind of the simple definition of what getting on code is all about, and that applies to regardless of where you are in the organization, doing what you're supposed to do.
I
Right?
mean, there are times in all of our careers where you're in a meeting and decisions are going to be made, and you have the opportunity to professionally and appropriately challenge the status quo. When you don't do that, when you just let something happen and you let a marginalized group become further impacted, or when an organization says, hey, we can't find talent, that's the reason why we don't have diversity in our senior ranks. It's a bit of a cop out, So as a leader, getting on code is, again, putting your credibility on the line, so to speak, and being able to speak up or step out when you have the opportunity to do that. That's really kind of like that bringing others up and challenging the status quo that we're talking about. That's really the essence, of getting on code.
That's right.
There.
And not drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, once you get to positions of power, it's understanding that, you have a responsibility. You got to motivate, inspire, be a role model, coach folks, bring others along, all of those things that you have to do as a leader, and doing the right thing. I mean, Ricky and I talked about this tragedy in Memphis as an example.
Right.
It's like those cops, they were in positions of power and authority. People had fought and put blood on the line, blood, sweat, and tears on the line to help them open the doors to get those positions. And then they go and do what they did to Tyree Nichols. That's not being on code.
Not at all.
Being on code would be training the next level of police officers coming through the system, being present in your neighborhood. All those kinds of things is really what it's about.
Yep. And, I think a lot of times, we have, individuals who and I totally get it. Everyone's worked really hard to get to the position that they're in. So sometimes there's this fork in the road where you say, you know what, I don't really want to damage my position at the table or my social standing at the organization. So I'm just going to let them take care of this themselves, and I'll just be behind the scenes. So what we're saying is it's time now for people to stand up and do the right thing at all times versus just when people are looking or when you believe it might be performative in nature. We're actually urging people to take action now.